Okay, hello. If you follow me, you saw my last video. These are the same pieces of tape, small dinky little pieces of tape that I just tore off in my other video. I have a video where I do the handle cups where I don't use tape at all. I don't use tape on these at all. I do my design, I cut off my top and bottom where I need it to be, and then I just line it up and hold the paper with the handle, stick it in my press, and let my press do its job. So that I love. No tape. All you need to make that tumbler is paper, sub ink, and a cup. That's it. And a press. But in that video, I told you that I was getting ready to do a black full wrap cup with no handle. And I wanted to show you all that tight isn't the answer. Tight will mess a lot of you up. If you're just starting out, I would say steer clear of being all tight. I don't use the shrink wrap. I don't even use the heat tape. I use this stuff. Masking tape. I've had this forever. 3 little tiny pieces, even on a black tumbler. It's all about flat, not tight. Not tight. If you're doing a press. If I'm doing an oven, that's a different thing. You do want to be really tight with an oven. But with an oven, you're not having something coming in after you tape it up and get it tight, pushing on it. When you tape these up really tight and you tape this bottom and you tape this top and you get it all taped up and you add shrink wrap, you're sticking it in this press and then you're pressing it. Well, that press is tight. Any looseness you do have or any, if that press when it's closing creates any movement at all, you've got this stuck up here and stuck up there that it can't move. If it's moving just the stuff in the middle, it's going to cause a wrinkle. And which is going to cause ghosting, which is going to cause a bad seam. Because you're transferring sublimation ink, which turns into a gas. Any air that gets between there is not going to let that gas touch the cup, and it needs to touch the cup to transfer the color, if that makes sense. Anyway, long story short, I wanted to show you that tight has never been the answer for me. I struggled with these so bad for forever until I finally noticed one time when I was wrapping and taping and all that stuff that the bottom of my cup had the bevel to it. If you look, it kind of caves in on the end. If you put your paper past there where it starts to curl back in toward the bottom, like bevel, whatever you want to call it, when you put that in the press and you've taped it, you're causing that that paper has to bend over it. Some people will bend their paper and tuck it in around here before they tape it. You're taking a chance, tucking that in and taping it and tucking this under, of causing it to lift somewhere. Even if it's the slightest lift, it's going to leave ghosting, whatever. So just do flat. Don't let your paper go past this rim. Don't let your paper go past that bevel. I know I can leave a link in the comments of the supplier I know who currently has tumblers that are completely straight. They don't have that bumble at the bottom. So see, even the manufacturers have figured that out, that is causing problems for people. So I'll leave a link for him if you don't even want to mess with that. But yeah, you want, for these, keep your paper on the flat part. Don't go over. I overlap my seam a little bit, but I do not overlap the top. I do not overlap the bottom, and I do not tape them. And I let the press do its job. And black or dark colors, especially black, take longer to do. A lot of people think they're going to burn these cups. Let me tell you, it takes a lot to burn them in the press. I have accidentally left a tumbler in my press for the time that it takes to do a ceramic mug, which is a lot longer. Like 200 and some seconds as opposed to whatever 45 times 2 is. 90. No. Yeah. Seconds. That's wrong. Whatever. No, it isn't. I'm not a mathematician. Anyway, so here's my all black. I'm going to flip this upside down. I'm going to focus on flat. I got it on here. Oh, I actually had one upside down earlier. I don't want to do that. Okay. So, like I said, I overlap a little bit. Just the tiniest bit I overlap. I'm not pulling on this. I'm just rolling it around, overlapping. It's snug, but I'm not worried about it being tight. As long as it's on there and it's snug. You know, even to prove my point even more, I won't go all the way to the edge. I'll just go right here. Because as long as it's snug, it's touching everywhere. Make sure I don't have it upside down because I've done that twice. But yeah, there's my type. It's kind of lifting up here a little bit, but it's not. I mean, I know when I go like this, it's smooth. It's where it needs to be. And another thing, I don't put the seam up in the air where that gap is in the press. I don't do that either. Shoot, there's something I forgot to do. I've been doing these with the handle, so I have to adjust my press back to the ones without a handle. Well, I don't want to do it without, it's already wrapped. So what I'm going to do is put a cup in. Sorry, I should have had this done already, but yeah, maybe someone needs to know. I just stick this in here in my press. You can't see my press. I'll show you in a little bit. Yeah, that closed way too thing. And then I just turn my adjusters until they stop. I'm turning them, but I'm not forcing them. I will sit here and I'll turn them and I'll turn them and turn them. I might have to stand up for a second, but I don't want to because you'll see my mess behind me. I'm going to turn them until, like I said, I'm giving a little bit of pressure just to see if they'll turn, but once they stop, you know they stop. When they stop, and that's good enough for me. That to me that's where it's supposed to be. It's not too tight. It's not going to cause that lift that sometimes I do because people think they got to get them tighter than I'll get out, and they don't. You don't have to get them so tight. Just get it till it stops. Lord, don't let them see the mess behind me, sweet Jesus. Okay, that one stopped. Yeah, they're stopped. Let me get this hot thing out of here. So I just turned them until they stopped, and I'm not cranking. Okay. I mean, I do give it a tiniest little bit of pressure to see if it's going to keep going, but once it's not going to keep going, I'm done. This, like I said, this seam, I'm going to show you. When I put my cup in here, I turn that seam so it's not right at the top. I don't want it right at the top. And then I close it. And if you saw or heard, some people, you see them, they push that down and it almost takes their arm because they're trying, they've got it so tight. Don't go tight. As long as you've got that paper nice and flat, let your press do its job. And like I said, I forgot a cup in here for 200 and some seconds, and it didn't burn. It wasn't burnt. So sometimes I think people think that they're burning their cups when they're really not quite done yet, especially dark colors. Dark colors, especially black, I will do at least double the time, like what you initially press your cups at right now. If it's black, double that. You press your ends. I do press my ends on these. So far I haven't had to press my ends on the handle cups. I don't know why that is, but I'm happy about it. I haven't done a black one yet, but there might come a time if I do have a dark one where I have to press the ends, I may end up taping it because I don't want to mess that up. But for the most part, I don't have to tape the ones with the handle. I don't know what I was saying. My press, if you notice, it's not beeping at 45 seconds. It's because I have it set for my ceramic cups. And I've been doing this so long that I just get a feel for what the time is. And like I said, they're very forgiving. There's a lot of grace that you have with these, where you, like I said, you can just let them go for a while. You're not going to burn them if you double your time. I do it all the time. And my press is, I think, 355. It's 180 Celsius. So I think that's 355 Fahrenheit. And, yeah. Now I'm going to turn it. But I pull it out a little bit before I turn it, and it's not sticking up. A lot of people will have that where they get it so tight that it's sticking up. There's like a line of the paper sticking up. You have your press too tight. Like I said, just turn it till it stops and don't go any further. But what was I telling you? I get lost. I'm one of those people that takes me 5 or 6 stories to get one story out because I lose my spot and I start something else. But yeah, I rotated about halfway. I don't remember now. I am going to do my ends. I do press my ends, especially on black. But yeah, very, very, very forgiving with these because you're not going to burn them. Oh, wow, that's still hot. See, this is taking forever, and I know I've went past my initial 45 seconds on whatever, both of these. So I'll take it out now. But now I'm going to take it out. Another thing, too, is I like to see a bleed on that seam. I like to see the ink bleeding through. I take them out and flip it before I put my end in. And when I put my ends in, I put them halfway. I put it halfway in. Don't just stick the tiniest little end in. Stick them in there halfway. And a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my God, she's burning that cup, because you've been told that that's burning, but, whatever people get. But trust me, black needs to have the extra time. And I don't really keep track of the seconds. Like, I just give it a little flip, and then I'll open up my press and give another little flip. I like to see the ink bleeding in the seam. I like to see the image coming through the paper really good. In the bottom and top, you can see a little bit of bleeding coming out of under the paper. That's good. You want that. But I'm just letting the press do its job. It took me a long time to get it figured out, and I've worked in factories for years and years and years. I used to build refrigerators for the Maytag Corporation. And I just learned from my many years in factory, not just that one, many years in factory work. I'll flip it now. That there's a trick to just about every job you're ever going to do, and it takes some people in the factories. A lot of people will be like, I hated it. You get on a new job, and I was on a different job all the time. I could probably build a refrigerator from start to finish, because I was just on this job and that job. I was one of the lowest woman on the totem pole for a long time. So I just got shoved around to this job, that job. Someone wanted to go home, whatever. Anyway, what I found is a lot of people were not helpful. They would actually be entertained and giggling and getting a kick out of you getting behind because you didn't know the little trick to keeping up with the line on the job. Well, after all those years of experience, I have come to the point in my life where I like to be helpful. I don't want to see people struggling with something like, I blew through so much money in tumblers when I started doing this, because messing up, but I'm also one of those people that I'm not a giver-upper. My husband says that I need to have patience, and I'm like, if I didn't have patience, honey, these would be in the dumpster out back. I have a lot of patience, I guess. But, yeah, I'm like, ugh. But I just want to be helpful. I don't want to see people struggling and going through 50, 60 tumblers and giving up, because this is really fun to do and it's addicting. And I'm sure the reason you're even trying this is because you want to do it and it looks exciting and something you'd like to do and you're creative. Well, don't give up. Just keep trying it. You'll get it. You'll get it. And I want to help you. So if you want to subscribe. If you don't, that's fine. Follow. I have a page on Facebook if you want to go to my page on Facebook and follow. You can do that too. Because like I said, I just want to help you not give up and keep doing that. But see, there's a lot of blood, I call it blood, ink, bleeding through on my tape. That means that's a good sign you're not going to have a seam. But like I said, I got the tiniest little pieces of tape, and I just use my finger, I don't care. But yeah, I would challenge you to tell me where that seam is. I mean, I'm sure if you look down at the bottom, yeah, don't look at the very bottom, because you can see I have a heck of a time getting those little spots, but that's a black tumbler. I didn't tape the top. I didn't tape the bottom. You saw me, tiniest little pieces of tape on there. No ghosting at all. Nowhere. No ghosting. But yeah, that's a gift for a wrestling coach. I like it. I hope he likes it. This is an order. But yeah. I mean, you see it backwards, but yeah. Black tumbler and these tiny little pieces of tape. You don't have to give yourself carpal tunnel. You don't have to spend $1 million on heat tape. And if you want to get the oven mitts, but I was a factory worker, but I was also, for 11 years, I was a cook in a junior high. So, yeah, heat don't bother me. I will take my nail and tap those 3 little pieces of tape off. I'm not going to spend the money. I'm thrifty. Also, the money you're saving on not using all the tape and all those extra stuff that you don't need, and I use tongs, is money you're going to see in profits if you're doing this as a business and trying to sell them. But anyway, hopefully you'll subscribe, and I can always come up with thrifty little things that I do to help people. I do epoxy and glitter tumblers too. So I just did a tumbler upside down earlier, which I haven't done that in forever. Where'd it go? So I just got these cups in, and I said, coming soon, 20-ounce tumblers with a handle, glittered and epoxied. Because this will now be something else. It'll end up being a glitter tumbler, which is another thrifty thing. So I actually did epoxy tumblers before I did sublimation, but at least if I mess up my sublimation cups, I can epoxy them and glitter them. So I'll have some tutorials on that stuff too, because I'm thrifty with that stuff too. Just as a really quick tip to let you know is, for an example, I will buy glitter from the online party stores, like, I don't know, not just wedding, but party store, like, is it Paper Mart? And I can't think of the other one. I'll think of it and link it in the bottom, in the comments. But you can get a big 1-pound jar of glitter for like $8 and use it as your base and stuff, like, especially if you, like, for instance, a beach tumbler. I got a blue, I got a gold, and I got a white, and I use it as my base. And then I will come in with the more expensive glitters or chunky glitters or whatever. I call them impact glitters, my impact, because I want to make with the cup. I won't need so much. I will just come in real lightly, and you never know that I just saved a gazillion dollars on using cheap glitter from the party store over the expensive stuff. I use them both, but it saves the money, and then you save money, you make money. So anyway, I'll quit. I'm very happy with this. I've been wanting to do a tutorial on the black because people struggle with those seams so bad and they want to pull tight. And I see so many people suggesting, you got to pull tighter, you got to pull tighter. And I'm like sitting here going, no, don't pull tighter. Don't pull tight at all. And quit taping the top and bottom because that's causing a lot of your problem. Anyway, I hope this helps. I got to get off of here and get to bed. Peace out.